Thursday night meeting. Would you please stand and join us in the pledge? Mr. McCarthy?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilwoman Noack.
Here.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Here.
Councilman Lohman.
Here. Okay, we will begin sitting as the Board of Water Commissioners, Madam Clerk.
On the minutes approval, we have the Board of Water meeting for January 7th, 2020. Number 3, the Board of Water Commissioners to authorize the following. Number 1, the supervisor to sign an agreement with Upstate Leak Detection LLC to perform leak detection services. And number 2, the supervisor to sign an agreement with Pace Analytical Services Incorporated for water quality testing services for the Smithtown and St. James Water District.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. Reconvening as Town Board.
Number 1, correspondence, the Building Department report for December 2019. Number 2, public hearing, the Town Board to consider proposed local law number 2-2020, increasing the amount of the petty cash fund of the Town of Smithtown receiver of taxes.
Supervisor Wareheim, members of the board. Tonight's public hearing is being held to consider a local law to increase the petty cash fund in the tax receiver's office. New York Town law currently provides for a $1,000 petty cash fund. The local law will increase that amount to $1,500. Are there any questions?
Okay. Anyone in the audience want to be heard on this public hearing? Anybody on the board? None being heard, I'll move to close the hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Number 3,
Hold on a minute. Want to move to adopt?
Yes, I'd like to move to adopt item number I-17403 as heard tonight.
Okay, I'll second that.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Number 3, advertise for public hearing. 1, the Town Board to authorize the Town Clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at Town Hall on the 3rd day of March at 2 p.m. to consider the Town Board's own motion to amend conditions of change of zone petition number 92-2 to permit the increase of generation of wastewater from 19,528.25 gallons per day to 28,914 gallons per day. 2, the Town Board to authorize the Town Clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at Town Hall on February 4th at 2 p.m. to consider proposed amendments to Chapter 101 of the Town Code as it relates to vaping.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Number 4, the consent agenda controller, numbers 1 through 10, and number 5, consent agenda resolutions, numbers 1 through 3.
Okay, is there anyone in the Town Board that wishes to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda? No.
No, thank you.
Okay, we can move on.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Number 6, the Town Board to issue a secret negative declaration determination of non-significance in the following matter. 1, the Town Board's own motion to amend the Town Code Chapter 322 regarding WSI zoning district dimensional regulations and vehicle storage racks per memorandum from David Barnes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
B, the Town Board to authorize the Town Clerk to advertise for the following bids to be returned to Town Hall at 11 p.m. on the dates indicated. Number 1, bid number 20-10, supply polyethylene mulch bags. 2, bid 20-9, bearings, sprockets, and chain. Number 3, bid 20-7, concrete curbs, sidewalks, and aprons. Number 4, bid number 20-8, asphalt resurfacing.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy, Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
C, the town board to award the following bids and to authorize the purchase of associated goods or services. 1, bid number 19-118, annual supply bid for lumber and building materials to Cider Lumber and Supply and East Islip Lumber. And number 2, bid number 19-108 for Lake Avenue Water Main Sanitary Sewer and Force Main Installation. Partial award of items 101 through 118 and 129 through 131 to Thomas Novelli Contracting.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
D, the town board to approve the following. 1, extension of agreement with RNC Environmental Geology for groundwater sampling and laboratory analysis. 2, extension of agreement with Munistat Services, Inc. to provide municipal financial advisor services. 3, extension of bid 18-8 for paint and stain with the Sherwin-Williams Company. 4, extension of PIN number 19-11 for concession sales at town facilities with Katie Donnigan's Incorporated. 5, extension of bid 19-1 for office cleaning services with Commercial Cleaning LI New York. 6, extension of bid 18-4 for removal of leachate with United Cesspool Services. 7, extension of bid 19-6 for outboard motors and related items with American Marine Incorporated. 8, extension of bid 18-93 for asphalt pickup from plant with Basilico Materials East and Kings Park Materials. 9, Fire Marshal Matthew Rea to attend Water-Based Fire Protection System Seminar at the Connecticut Fire Academy. 10, ratify the town attorney's signature on a renewal agreement with Thompson Reuters for online legal research. 11, agreement with Partners Health Plan Incorporated for Town of Smithtown Horizons Counseling and Education Center to join the PHP network of providers. 12, town board to adopt the local solid waste management plan revised August 2019 by the firm of L.K. McLean Associates. 13, the town board to ratify the town attorney's signature authorizing the town to retain services of John S. Guest Realty Appraisal to perform an appraisal of real property. 14, Benjamin Rella to attend a welding class at Eastern Suffolk BOCES. 15, amendment of Town Board Resolution 2019-1203, adopted by the Town Board on November 21st, 2019, to reflect the award of services at MSF, cells 1 through 5 and cell 6. 16 and 17, the Town Board to authorize the Department of Environment and Waterways to prepare and submit letters of intent and applications to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation in order to obtain partial grant funding for costs associated with the operation, maintenance, and repairs of 3 existing vessel pump-out facilities. 18, the renewal of the annual townwide license of Microsoft Exchange through Dell EMC. And number 19, adoption of local law number 2-2020, amending chapter 322 of the town code entitled zoning as per the public hearing held on January 7th, 2020, previously heard as proposed local law number 7-2019.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
E, the town board to authorize the acceptance of the following. 1, accept the donations from Doreen Nicotra of $50 and Ken Horton of $75 for the animal shelter. 2, funding in the amount of $500,000 from the Suffolk County Jumpstart Suffolk program to construct a municipal parking lot on Pulaski Road in Kings Park.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
F, the town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the following on a form approved by the town attorney. 1, bid number 19-116 for STOP Hazardous Household Waste Program to Care Environmental Corporation. 2, authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Dr. Sarah Mendelson for the administration of rabies vaccinations to certain town employees. 3, agreement with Suffolk County Youth Bureau for state aid in the amount of $47,225 for operating expenses for the year 2020. 4, agreement with Jane Matera Lohman to provide fitness classes at the town senior citizen center on an as-needed substitute basis for one year. 5, agreement with Fundamental Business Services Incorporated to provide professional services to assist the Town Traffic Violations Bureau in the enforcement and collection of outstanding parking summonses. 6, agreement with James Faith Entertainment to provide entertainment services for the town's recreation department program at the Long Beach Pavilion.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes to all except for 4. I'm going to recuse myself.
okay. Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Excuse me. G, the town board to approve settlement in the following matters per recommendation of the town attorney. 1, John V. Fiore versus the town of Smithtown in the amount of $3,824.76.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
7, personnel. A, the town board to approve the following personnel matters on numbers 1 through 3 as per the agenda.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
8, the town board to authorize the following amendments to the Uniform Traffic Code and authorize the Traffic Safety Department to install and maintain the necessary signs. 1, Schedule J parking, standing and stopping, adding from Primrose Lane North from Lawrence Road, a no parking. And number 2 is a Schedule G stop and yield intersections, adding a stop sign at Chapman Road and Heritage Place South.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
And then there are 2.
2 readings.
Yeah.
Correct.
The first one is the town board to appoint James P. Clark Esquire as hearing officer in the Civil Service Law, Section 75, charges against employee, should I read the number?
Yeah.
Employee number 004036. B, suspend that employee pursuant to Civil Service Law, Section 75. And C, to authorize the town supervisor to prefer charges.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
And the second one is a transfer of an employee, Eric Jorgensen, from the Highway Department to the Municipal Services Facility.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes. Okay, that concludes resolutions. We will move to the public speaking portion. Public participation is subject to the rules of decorum which you have on your speaker cards. That's Town Code Section 76.7. The public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced on a per-person basis. Please give the clerk your name and address. Please address the town board. Before we start, how many folks are here tonight to speak on the proposed BJ's in Comac? Okay. You'll have your 3 minutes to come up and give your comments. I just want to advise you that we have Mr. Hans here. He's our Director of Planning. So after the board meeting, we will be here as well with Mr. Hans if you have any questions. But I want you to understand, this is before the Board of Zoning Appeals. They've been to the Board of Zoning Appeals for variances. It's an as-of-right development. And it is presently in the secret process, so traffic flow, environmental issues, that's all being looked at now by our town professionals. And then they'll report that back to the Board of Zoning Appeals before they make a decision on whether or not they can have the variances. So I just want to make sure that you folks are clear on that right there. It's not something that this board votes on at this point, but certainly we'll hear your comments and they'll go into the record. Okay? Okay.
Stephen Weiner.
Oh, Stephen, the same first name.
Yes, please.
My name is Stephen Weiner, 54 Sandy Hollow Drive, Smithtown. I've been a homeowner here for 34 years now. And on the subject of Macy's and BJ's, I'm not an advocate for Macy's. I have nothing against them. I have nothing against BJ's for that matter. But the location is what I have a real problem with. And I think probably the people who are here are going to pretty much say the same thing. The location, out of all locations possibly that BJ's could have looked for, it couldn't be a worse location. The traffic already is a problem. It's a congested area to begin with, and a BJ's or a Costco or any warehouse club type business is going to generate a huge amount of traffic. It's going to make traffic coming on and off of the Sunken Meadow Parkway, Jericho Turnpike. Just now, without BJ's, it's not exactly an easy trip on many days. So I am vehemently opposed. I also can't see how we could have enough parking there, and there'd be an overflow and a problem there of just getting in and out of the parking lot. But that, your traffic flow, the studies that are being done will give us some information on that. Aside from that, of course, we all know there's a Costco 2 miles away. There's a BJ's somewhere about 7 miles away, 6 miles away. So I don't really see the need for it. If BJ's wants to find a location, I have no problem with it. Just, again, Jericho Turnpike in Comac is the wrong location. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Stephen Clements.
Hi, my name is Stephen Clements. I'm a 40-year resident of Comac, 15 Tompkins Court in Comac. I was told by the planning board that I understand the zoning, what happened at the meeting of October 22nd. Frankly, I wasn't happy with what happened there when they refused to, they allowed the people for BJ's to speak twice, but they would not allow the residents, for about 40 of whom were there, to respond. It seemed totally unfair and undemocratic that they got 2 shots and the residents weren't allowed to get a second shot, but that's another story. Zoning laws are carefully crafted and developed to protect the citizens of a town. Therefore, variances should be carefully considered before they are granted. And I was told by the planning department that you have the ultimate decision in terms of whether or not you're going to go forward with this. If that's incorrect, maybe you'll let me know at the end of my talk. At the meeting, there were about 40 people who were opposed, and there were 62 letters that were written to the zoning board. And I found it disingenuous that the board didn't let the public know that 62 people had written letters in opposition. It seemed to me that wasn't quite kosher. The experts, so-called experts, that spoke in front of the zoning board were hired by BJ's. So they weren't exactly looking out for the interests of the people who live there. And they want variances that would increase the size and number of signs, raise the height of the building, change requirements for landscaping, place 2 building pads there for additional stores when they have, without the knowledge of what the stores will be or what their use will be. But the most egregious variance is they want to eliminate 700 parking spaces. So they want to go from 1,780 spaces to 1,030, 42% reduction. The BJ representative said they don't believe that that will cause any problem. They did a study of the cars in the parking lot on Friday, May 17th at 1:30, Saturday, May 18th at 2, Friday, October 18th at 1:30, and Sunday, October 19th. 350 cars in the lot, so they said there's plenty of room. Notice they didn't choose the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas. There are 5 reasons to deny zoning, to deny variances. One is if there's substantial zoning changes, and these are, they should not be granted. The other is if it will, I quote, will create undesirable changes or be detrimental to property values. The traffic, I was told that the traffic, the president of the Comac Association, that we can expect 18-wheelers 25 to 30 times coming up Comac Road.
Okay, sir, your time is up. You can bring everything else
No,
you have left.
no, I have someone who'll finish.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Your name is?
Oh, it's Laura Amundsen.
Amundsen, okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Just, if you could state your name.
Sure. My name is Laura Amundsen. I've been a resident for 41 years in Comac and a homeowner for 2. The second reason to deny the variances is if the variances will create undesirable changes or be detrimental to property values. The traffic that will be generated by BJ's clearly meets with the definition. The president of the Comac Association was told that BJ's will generate the need for 18-wheel truck deliveries for 25 to 30 times a day. The only logical route is north of Comac Road from the expressway, and then a right-hand turn onto Jericho Turnpike, and then another right-hand turn into the lot. What already is a traffic nightmare will be exacerbated multiple times. BJ's reps claim that the site will be undersued by defunct Macy's. So if that is the case, what will be the result when hundreds of more cars are converging at the intersection? With 42.4% fewer parking spots, with that kind of increased delivery, with a bus terminal at the entrance, there will be chaos. Gridlock will result. A traffic study is being done by the U.S. Department of Transportation. I am told by the building department that they are unable to tell us when it will be complete and if the public can have a chance to examine and comment on it. So we really need another traffic study to know what is going to happen. The increase in traffic meets the definition of an undesirable change or detriment to nearby properties. That is clearly a valid and responsible reason for denying the variances. I am told that you appoint the members of the zoning board and that you have the final say. You are accountable for the decision regarding the granting of variances, should you decide to do so. In 4 days, we have created a Facebook website in opposition to the variances requested by BJ's. And as of this morning, there are 322 people who have expressed their opposition to BJ's and the variances they have requested. 62 letters and 322 residents and a growing number have woken up to the disaster that will result in if these variances are granted. The public does not support such granting of variances. I urge the members of the town board to get involved, get educated and ask questions, challenge assumptions, and represent the interests of the public. Deny the myriad of variances that BJ's is proposing and save Comac community from the calamity that will result. Keep in mind that if the variances are granted and the situation becomes intolerable, you won't be able to undo the damage. You will be responsible for the disaster results. Do the right thing. I have questions, and I have copies of them if you need them. Can you tell us in the effect that the reduction in the square footage of the building?
Ma'am, if you have questions, I would ask you to remain after the board meeting.
Sure.
And we'll answer your questions after the meeting.
Then that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Priscilla Simon? You're not going to speak, okay. Felisa Hoffman?
Hi, Melissa Hoffman. I live at 6 Maxway in Comac. I've been a resident, a homeowner for over 23 years. Since the last meeting when I was there and I was very disappointed, I really did feel that it was geared against the Comac community. It was based upon what was said, how everybody else got to speak that was in favor of BJ's. The union workers were there. Residents didn't get an opportunity. They seemed angry for the small turnout. That's the way I took it. And since the meeting on October 22nd, my daughter got involved in almost a deadly car accident, not too far away from where BJ's is going to be. She got hit, slammed, her car got totaled and destroyed. She could have gotten killed. It made me even more enraged and realizing the dangers when it involves, of course, your own child, what could happen, and BJ's is not even there. And the point that I want you to realize is there are constantly car accidents. I live off of Indian Head Road. This past Sunday, early in the morning, around 9 in the morning, a horrific car accident on Indian Head Road going towards Jericho Turnpike. The corner of Indian Head Road and Jericho Turnpike, always, I don't think there's a week that goes by, and unfortunately, I don't have police report statistics, but you need to really do the research before you give approval of something like this. There is probably a serious car accident, Indian Head Road, Jericho Turnpike, all the time. Comac Road, Jericho Turnpike, endless car accidents. And once my daughter had that, it just made me realize the amount of traffic that's going to be coming from all the deliveries, the trucks. We can't handle it. Put it, where Costco is, there's a Target store. That's really where it should be. If they want to be competitors to Costco, it's away from a major road. You're not going to interfere with young drivers, old people, young people, anybody. We can't handle. There's endless car accidents. The first thing I think about is I don't want my kids on the road if BJ's comes. And if that's the case, then I have to move because I fear for my child's safety when I see on a weekly basis car accidents. You really need to not allow BJ's to come in a community like Comac, where we don't feel safe anymore. You can't drive on at all without seeing a car accident. You have to think about the young kids driving, the elderly, anybody. Nobody wants to get in a car accident, let alone if you put BJ's there and allow them to come and they cause even more car accidents than there have been existing, then it will be at your hands because you allowed BJ's to come there. I just think there's much better areas to put BJ's than in the heart off of a major road, Jericho Turnpike, which has too many accidents. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, again, folks, I want to thank you for coming. One point of clarification, the Board of Zoning Appeals, they are appointed by the town board for terms. They are an autonomous board, just like the planning board. We have no jurisdiction over their decisions. We do not get involved with them by law. So I just want to make that clarification. We can't impose anything on the Board of Zoning Appeals. They're an autonomous board that are there for a 5-year term. So, that being said, Mr. Hans has agreed to stay here. We will be here to answer what questions we can. And again, I want to thank you all for coming, and I'll move to close the meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Warehan.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zarella.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.